Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this is text 8, 11th canto, 29th chapter. And this is chapter's name is Bhakti Yoga. So you can repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Hantate Kathishyami.
Hantate Kathishyami.
Mama Dharman Sumangalan. Yan Shraddhaya Acharan Martayo.
Yan Shraddhaya Acharan Martayo.
Acharan. Mrityum Jayati Durjayam.
Mrityum Jayati Durjayam.
So, translation. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I shall describe to you the principles of devotion to me, by executing which a mortal human being will conquer unconquerable death. This is a beautiful verse, 11:29:8. And Krishna here is describing the process of Bhakti Yoga. Now, he describes process of Bhakti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, but that's not in details. That's the idea. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is Bhakti Yoga? Manmana bhav mad bhakto matyaji mam namaskuro. Fix your mind, intelligence on me. And that's. But here Krishna is going to give more insight. In fact, it is said, this 11th canto, this is a sequel to Bhagavad Gita. Now that's a part 1. This is part 2. So Krishna told to the whatever I couldn't explain on the battlefield because of lack of time. So I'm explaining you in details now. Yeah. So that is why Bhagavad Gita is undergraduation and Bhagavatam is post-graduation, as Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said that. And Chaitanya Charitamrita has PhD, something like that. Prabhupada said that actually. It is said that where Bhagavad Gita ends, there Bhagavatam begins. And where Bhagavatam ends, there Chaitanya Charitamrita begins. So Bhagavad Gita ends at surrender, and Bhagavatam begins with surrender. And Bhagavatam then ends in love of God. And Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with love of God. And then explains what is love of God in details. So, Krishna is personally telling. Now Krishna is saying, Hantate Kathishyami. Krishna is saying Hanta. Hanta means yes, I am going to explain you. Uddhav asked some questions to Krishna. And he said, Krishna, please explain me what is devotional service. Krishna says, yes, indeed, I will explain you. Yo Shraddhaya Acharan Martayo. By executing that Mrityum Jayati Durjayam, one will conquer death. Mrityum means death. Jayati means conquer. Durjayam means which is difficult to conquer. That is Krishna's proposal. Krishna's proposal is, well, people can give you pastries, people can give you pizzas, people can give you iPhones, laptops, but I can give you victory over death. That's what I'm offering you. You don't have to die again. In fact, every moment we are dying now. If you really think about it, we celebrate birthday, but that's a day to be sad, not happy. It's not happy birthday. It's a sad birthday, because with every birthday your life is 1 year less. You're approaching death. So Krishna is offering, and Krishna is explaining how to do that. And that's a good leader, in fact. A leader offers you something. Okay, this is the plan. And then he tells how to execute and complete that plan. That's a good leader. And an average leader, he'll give you the plan, okay, do like this, and then he'll leave you. Figure it out. That's a second class leader. A first class leader is give you the plan and also tells you how to execute and also how to complete that practically. So Krishna says now, Krishna is a perfect leader. In fact, one of the names of Krishna is Neta. Neta, that's a Sanskrit word. In Vishnu Sahasranam, one of the names of Krishna is Neta. That means he's a perfect leader. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Prabhupada was perfect leader. No? So first class leader is who, you see the second class leader, he'll give services. But first class leader will create services. And there's a difference in that. So first class leader will create services according to the tendency of that person. He will think, okay, what he can do. Just like Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada came to America and he created a service, book distribution. Prabhupada said that I hatched a plot. So it, of course, in India it was not so big thing, book distribution. Prabhupada came here and he created a service. He created a service, Govinda's restaurant. He created that. That was his creativity. You see the point? Second class leader is not creative. Okay, fine, I learned, okay, fine. So do this because this we have been doing. That's the idea. But first class leader is creative. He knows how to use imagination and creativity in service of Lord. So he and how you use this creativity, not to paint or not to, that's not the idea. Creativity to develop service, because devotion is all about service. Nothing besides service. So he will have many ideas about how to serve Krishna. That's a first class leader. So Krishna is here now helping us to understand how to serve him. He's giving many ideas now. How to serve him. Okay. So let's see. So Krishna says, now devotional service has two parts. One is external and one is internal. Now devotional service is cultivation, no? It's an art. Krishna consciousness is an art to cultivate your actions and your emotions. That's what we are now. We are thinking, feeling and willing beings. So all those things have to be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. So actions and emotions. So to cultivate actions you need external activities, and to cultivate emotions you need proper thoughts. And that's what Krishna is mentioning now. External and internal. And this is, in fact, in Sanskrit this is called Bhaya and Antar. That's a technical term for devotional service. Sometimes people are busy in cultivating external actions but forget internal cultivation, emotions. Sometimes people are busy cultivating internal emotions and forget external activities. Both are wrong. We are not in both camps. People who sit in Vrindavan, Babajis, they are simply interested in cultivating internal emotions. Whatever external actions, forget it. Nothing, no preaching, nothing, zero. We are not with them. Or many people, Srila Prabhupada says, Prabhupada actually noted in his movement in 1975 and 74, and he said that he asked his devotees that if you distribute my books without reading them, it's a materialistic activity. Prabhupada said that. It's like you're doing a job. That's all. So Prabhupada noted people are busy in external things, and in ISKCON it's like a little busy life, So generally you overlook internal things. It happens like that. So Prabhupada noted, and Prabhupada commented in his books. Be careful. So Krishna is talking about both now. That's devotional service. Okay. First 3 verses Krishna will talk about external cultivation. Next 4 to 5 verses he will talk about internal cultivation. So let's see what Krishna mentions. Now I'll ask you a question and you just hear properly and you have to apply your brain now. Okay, text 9, Krishna says, Kuryat sarvani karmani madartham shanakai smaran mai arpita manaschitto madharmatma manorati. In English, Krishna says, always remembering me, one should perform all his duties for me without becoming impetuous. Impetuous, what's that? Shanakai, yeah. With mind intelligence offered to me, one should fix his mind in attraction to my devotional service. Okay. Is it easy?
No.
To apply it, Prabhupada said, process is easy, application is difficult. But at the same time, what does Krishna mean here? Always remembering me, one should perform all his duties for me without becoming impetuous. Krishna is giving us hints how to perform external activities. Just like they are making this. What's this? What are you making? Wicks, yeah. So you are making wicks. So how to do that? So Krishna is mentioning, giving some hints. Krishna is saying, always remembering me. Now the idea is, in the purport, there's a comment, it is not indicated here that one should try to relish self-satisfaction in devotional service, or rather one should be attracted to one's own satisfaction. Why we serve Krishna? What is the impetus to serve Him? Generally, whatever we do in this material world, impetus is we want something. That's why we do, Either we want happiness or peace or satisfaction. But in devotional life, there's no impetus except that Krishna likes that. That's all. Even if you don't like it, doesn't matter. Even if you don't like doing something, if Krishna likes, devotee will do. That's the idea. Always remembering me, not always remembering you should do devotion. And this is very important if you think about it. Generally we perform devotion, chant and do whatever so that we become happy. That's the idea, no? I want to become happy. But that is not pure devotion. Pure devotion is nothing to do with yourself. Pure devotion is to do only with Krishna and only with Him. And that is why Krishna says, sometimes, Srila Prabhupada gives that example. Sometimes in summers, it's very hot and a devotee has to cook, isn't it? So, it's hot and you have to cook. So Prabhupada says no problem. Devotee takes all inconveniences and cooks for Krishna. Why? Because although it's not comfortable to him, although he's not feeling happy, it's so difficult, but nevertheless he does. Why? Because he knows that Krishna likes when a devotee cooks, isn't it? So that's the impetus while doing an action. We should always know Srila Prabhupada likes, Krishna likes. That's why I have to do. And in fact, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that if Krishna likes to give you miseries, those miseries are my happiness. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying. Now that's pure devotion. But we have to come to that level. And Srimati Radharani says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that if Krishna Jato hoy dukh, if Krishna says Jato hoy dukh saito paramasukh, if Krishna gives me miseries and He is happy in giving me miseries, I accept all those miseries as my supreme happiness. That's how we have to train our mind. That is devotional service. That means always remembering me. And Krishna says, without becoming impetuous, whatever you do for me, don't procrastinate. Procrastinate, you understand all of you? Procrastinate. Procrastinate, you understand? Procrastinate means lazy, we'll do tomorrow, then we'll tomorrow, like pushing ahead. Krishna says, don't do that. Don't do that. That's the biggest fault of human being, procrastination. Srimad Bhagavatam says, there are so many faults. We are ocean of faults. Krishna is ocean of qualities. But of all faults, foundation is procrastination. We push forward. I will do tomorrow, will do tomorrow, will do tomorrow. No. If you want to become pure, become pure now, not tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada said to one of his disciples, so you know this incident, no? Like Prabhupada was translating in night, and so he called his servant in the night, 2 o'clock, and he said, why you are sleeping? He said, come on. I think it was Hamsadut Prabhupada. So he said, why you are sleeping? So he said, Prabhupada, I am tired. Prabhupada said, I am not tired. I am awake. So he said, Prabhupada, I'll become unhealthy and headaches. So Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, I am awake. So he said, Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. Prabhupada said, why you are not pure devotee? You are shocked, 2 o'clock you come from a sleep, you get up and you first can't figure out who are you. Prabhupada is talking like that. Then he said, Prabhupada, you are Paramahamsa. Prabhupada said, why you are not Paramahamsa? So is Prabhupada joking with him or what's he doing? Is he harassing him? And then he said, Prabhupada, I'll get sick if I don't sleep and I'll get headache and this and that. Prabhupada said, I'll give you blessings, you'll not get anything. Get up and serve Krishna. That's what... Now Prabhupada is not joking. Prabhupada is trying to impress a point on him that if you want to become pure devotee, you can become pure devotee now. But if you want, that's up to you. Krishna wants. You can't say Krishna doesn't want you to become pure devotee. You can't say that. Otherwise you are blaming him. No? He wants, and he wants more than us. He wants us more than us. But at the same time, we should be wanting him. That's the idea. He wants to enter our life, but we have to allow him to enter our lives. The more you allow, the more he interferes in your life. The more he takes charge of your life. That's up to you. That's why Krishna says, without becoming impetus. So Krishna is helping us to understand external actions. You serve me without procrastination. You serve me with one idea that whatever I am doing, it's liked by Krishna. That's all. Whatever service I am doing. That's the only thing in our mind. I don't want my satisfaction. And if you work like that, satisfaction and peace will be side effects of devotion. They are not the goal. They are side effects, mere side effects. If you want peace, you will never get peace. That's Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj saying. And if you don't want peace, it will follow you. That's his material word. Whatever you want, you will not get it. And whatever you don't want, it will chase you. That's how it goes, If you want respect, nobody is going to respect you. Isn't it? If you demand respect, no. Why should I respect? If you don't demand respect, you will command it. Respect will come for you. And people will say, yeah, he's so humble devotee. You see, it's like that. So, and Krishna says, with mind and intelligence offered to me. Now when we serve Krishna, we have to offer a mind and intelligence. Now what do you understand by this? Can anybody tell me? Offering mind and intelligence, what do you mean by that?
Using what little intelligence or control over.
Well, it's the same thing you are saying, what I am saying. Offering mind intelligence, and you are saying using mind and intelligence. So you didn't explain me now. Isn't it?
It's like actively engage your minds.
Oh, again you are saying same thing. Offering mind means actively engaging mind. When you explain something, you should not use the same word. Isn't it? Otherwise, that's not the definition, no? What's a car? It's a vehicle. Car is a car with 4 wheels. No, then you can't use the same word. That's the rule. Now, okay, fine.
To employ the sections of Shastras as purpose of intelligence.
Okay.
And to ignore the demands of senses.
Okay.
That's the function of mind.
Oh,
So
function of mind is? Okay, yes, I told. What's the function of mind? And then you'll understand.
Accept or reject.
Okay, accept or reject. No, function of mind is to actually desire. It keeps on desiring, no? Is it? Desires one thing and then doesn't desire something, no? Accept, reject, accept, reject. So engaging mind means, Krishna says, you should desire to serve me, desire to serve me day after day, month after month. That's offering mind. Like you should have many desires how to serve Krishna. That's a part of creativity, you see? Creativity. So when you serve Krishna, you should have many desires. Okay, I'll do this for Krishna, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. You should be a dreamer. You're not a dreamer. It's good to dream for Krishna. Okay, I'll make temples for Krishna. I'll maybe you can think, I'll make whole Detroit as devotees. Everybody in Detroit will be devotee. You can dream at least. There's no harm in dreaming. So like that, like Prabhupada had so many desires. Prabhupada thought, I'll preach an entire world, we'll do book distribution, we'll open Govinda restaurant, and then we will do this and pandal programs. You see the point? That is offering mind to Krishna. Just as a businessman has so many desires for his business. We'll open a company in Japan, we will do this, we'll do that, we'll do that. That's what is offering mind. So you should have a book, a diary, and write what you are going to do for Krishna. Make a list. This. Okay, maybe not immediately. Some desires you can fulfill. It can take 10 years. But nevertheless, short-term desires, long-term desires, mid-term desires, immediate desires, urgent desires, important desires. All those things you have to list your desires. Otherwise mind will start desiring something else. You see the point? You have to have a list on which you can keep on working. And then offering intelligence means... What's the meaning of offering intelligence?
Studying Shastra. Using Shastra.
Okay, yeah. Before that, one practical advice. Offering mind means keep a diary now. Keep a diary with you. And chalk out what's your long-term, mid-term, short-term, all these desires. Make a list and chalk out. And these are the terms you should remember. Short-term desire, mid-term desire, long-term desire, urgent desire, important desire. All these things you have to fill that. Always write. Don't keep in your mind. What is written shall be done. And if you think, you'll keep on thinking. Nothing will happen. Nothing is going to happen. It'll be in air. Isn't it? That's why corporate, they write, everything. Corporate people, they write everything. Take. Prabhupada used to write. All great people have their diary. All great people. Prabhupada had a diary. You saw that? You saw Prabhupada diary? There's a book. Prabhupada writing every day. Everything is writing. And I used to think, why it's that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a diary. And all great people have that habit of keeping a diary because they were creating desires to fulfill their ambitions. No? That's how material life goes. People have ambitions and then people have so many desires, options. I'll do this, like this, but I have to fulfill my ambition. That's the idea. That's offering mind. And what do you mean by offering intelligence to Krishna? What do you mean by that?
Well, I was going to say planning ways to execute those.
Okay, fine, yeah. Perfect. Offering intelligence means planning how to execute your desires. That's offering intelligence. Because function of intelligence is decision. So you have to decide, okay, I have so many desires, but how to fulfill that? Now Prabhupada gives 3 meanings of offering intelligence in his books. Now one of the meaning is planning, as we said. Planning how to execute those desires. You have to plan because Prabhupada said, desiring is not enough. you should also deserve, isn't it? You have to deserve. It's not enough to desire. So you have to deserve, you have to make yourself qualified so that you can fulfill those desires, isn't it? And how do you qualify yourself? By planning. You have to have a proper plan. Otherwise, Krishna will give you opportunities and you will mess it up. That's what we are going to do. Krishna gives all of us opportunities to serve day after day, but because of lack of planning, we just spoil it. And that's why devotee always prays to Krishna, Krishna, please don't let me spoil the opportunities which you give me. I've already spoiled so many opportunities. But please give me intelligence so that I can use those opportunities to the best possible ways. Human life is an opportunity, no? To serve Krishna. But we wasted it. So many lifetimes because of lack of planning. No planning. So that's one meaning of offering intelligence. Another meaning of offering intelligence is setting priorities. That Prabhupada speaks in one of his lectures. So Prabhupada says, with intelligence, you should set priorities in your life. In fact, priorities day to day. So we have so many services, but what is priority? What should we do first? What should we do next? So that we don't miss anything, no? Just like, for example, yesterday we were talking about reading books. So, okay, there should be a priority in life. Okay, what should we do first? What should we do next? If you keep on serving Krishna, you have so many services. You can keep on serving Him. And then you'll not find time to read. Isn't it? Management is never ending, by the way. You know that. If you keep on finding some things to do, it'll keep on coming. It's never ending. And that's for managers. Managers have to keep guard, because in ISKCON, many managers, they fell down because of not setting priorities in life. So sometimes you have to hang up things and do other things. Everything you can't do in one day. That's not possible. So like that. Just like this phone. Now managers, they are on phone, You have to be on phone, talking and this and WhatsApp and this. But then whole day you can be engaged, answering WhatsApp phones, this. So you have to set priorities. Okay, stop this now for 2 hours. Forget it. We'll see afterwards. And then, so offering intelligence means setting priorities. And offering intelligence also means, Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita, 10 chapter 9th verse purport. Prabhupada says, intelligence means enthusiasm in acting for Krishna. So offering intelligence also means to find ways to keep yourself enthusiastic in that service. Because sometimes our mind is like that, no? Like sometimes we are doing service, but we'll become little lax and depressed, and okay, what's happening? Always to be always enthusiastic, it's difficult. So finding ways to be enthusiastic, that's the meaning of offering intelligence. So there are 3 meanings of offering intelligence. One is planning, another is priorities, and third is finding ways to be enthusiastic. That's offering intelligence. Krishna says, with mind intelligence offered to me, one should fix his mind in attraction to my devotional service. Okay, so that's the first hint, how to cultivate external actions. And the next hint is, okay, now tell me what's Krishna saying. One should take shelter of holy places, text 10. One should take shelter of holy places where my saintly devotees reside. One should be guided by exemplary activities of my devotees who appear among demigods, demons and human beings. Now second thing Krishna says is, you have to cultivate devotion externally. How? By residing in holy places. Now by holy places we understand where his devotees reside. Wherever there are devotees, that's a holy place. No? So there, once it is said in scriptures, once this Garud, you know Garud, all of it. So he was flying and he was going somewhere. So he saw a woman in Antarctic. like snow, she was meditating. And he was flying and he saw, he said, he thought in his mind, this crazy woman, she should be in a holy place. What she's doing here? In this cold, icy thing, sitting and meditating on God. So as soon as he thought that, his wings burned. And he fell down. And he was shouting, Vishnu, help me, help me. And then Vishnu came. And he just caught hold of him. So he asked Vishnu, what happened? My wings burned, Vishnu said, you did an offense. You thought that what is this female? She should go to a holy place and there she should do devotion. What's she doing in Antarctic? But you forgot, wherever there is my devotee, that place becomes a holy place. And you did offense. She is my pure devotee. She has made this place as a holy name, a holy place. No? See this? So that's the idea. So wherever there are saintly devotees, Mad Bhaktai Sadhuvi Shritan, that place becomes holy place. It is said in scriptures, wherever there is chanting of holy names, Ganga, Jamna, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, all these holy places appear there. That's not an ordinary place. Just like this temple, it's not an ordinary place. Prabhupada said each temple is a Vaikuntha. But the problem is, your body can be in Vaikuntha, but your mind can be in material body. That's the problem. This is Vaikuntha and you're safe here. Until unless your mind is here. Your mind should not be out somewhere. Then you're safe, no problem. So Krishna gives next hint for cultivating externally by taking association of, be surrounded by devotees. And not just surrounded by devotees, follow their example. One should be guided by exemplary activities of my devotees. Don't just stay with them. Try to imitate them. That's a good idea. Try to imitate good devotees. Prabhupada said, imitation of good things is good. Prabhupada also said, do as I am doing. No? And in fact, when Prabhupada was there, our movement had a lot of energy because he was there. People were seeing him, People were following his example. And there was so much energy there. So, that's the second advice Krishna is giving. Take association of devotees. How do you take association of devotees? By doing what they are doing. Follow them in words and actions. You see. And the third hint Krishna is giving for external cultivation of devotion is. Now you hear this and tell me what Krishna is telling. Either alone or in public gathering. Text 11. With singing, dancing and other exhibitions of royal opulence. One should arrange to celebrate those holy days, ceremonies and festivals set aside especially for my worship. So what's the hint Krishna giving here? Sankirtan. Singing, dancing, exhibitions, festivals. What's that? What's the principle there? Why he is telling to do all these things? That's a question. How does it help us to cultivate our devotion externally in actions?
Interesting.
Oh yeah. That's the idea. Krishna says, whatever you do, make it interesting. That's the third hint. Otherwise, he'll go bonkers sitting around, Sitting around in temple and thinking, when I'll escape from here. I become mad. So make it interesting. That's the function of a leader. To make Krishna consciousness interesting. Until unless you don't learn yourself how to make it interesting. So those are the three hints which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. My devotional service is susukham kartum avyayam. My devotional service is full of happiness, Krishna says, no? Susukham. Sukham means happiness. Susukham means extreme happiness. You see the point? So, it is our duty to fulfill the words of Krishna. And Krishna says, my devotional service is full of happiness. We have to create an atmosphere in which people feel happy. And we have to make it interesting. That's the idea. So Krishna gives 3 hints to cultivate external devotion, cultivate external actions. The first hint is that have many desires to serve Him and plan how to execute those desires. Now that's the first hint. Have many services in mind. Long term, short term, mid term, urgent, important. You have to make a list. On one side, and on the other side, write how will you execute them and fulfill them, and a deadline. And then you will keep on working. You have challenges, you have goals. Prabhupada said in Bhagavad Gita, due to lack of goal, devotees are frustrated. Due to lack of goal in life, then this lust, anger, envy, greed, it enters our heart. Prabhupada also said that somebody asked Prabhupada, one reporter in the airport, Prabhupada, do you have lust? He asked Prabhupada, by the way. And Prabhupada said no. But then Prabhupada waited for a moment, and Prabhupada again said, it's not that I don't have lust, but I don't have time for it. That's what he asked. Prabhupada says, be very, very, very busy in Krishna consciousness, but you can't be busy just by thinking I should be busy. If you think, I should be very busy, very busy, very busy, you'll just sit in your chair and keep on thinking I should be very busy, very busy, very busy, and go and sleep. And then get up, I should be busy, You can't make yourself busy just by imagining things. I should be very busy. It doesn't happen like that. So to keep yourself busy, Krishna is giving you a hint. Okay, make a list of many services. Have a plan to execute them, put a deadline. So you have challenges, you have goals, and then you can keep on working for that. And the next hint Krishna gives for external cultivation is surround yourself with devotees, but not just surround yourself with devotees, not just stay with them, follow their words and follow their activities. That is association. Otherwise you're not associating, even if you're living in a devotee community. That's not association. Association means do as I am doing, Prabhupada says. Do as they are doing. Senior devotees and good devotees, see them and imitate them. And that's the best word we can use, imitate. To your capacity. Let's add that. Whatever capacity you can, as much as possible. And the third hint is in external cultivation of devotional services, make it interesting. Find out ways to make devotion interesting. That's very, very, very important. And because of lack of that, many devotees leave our movement. They go back, not a movement, but they go back in materialistic life because lack of interest. So whose fault is this? If you don't feel Krishna consciousness as interesting, whose fault? Yeah, people who are leading. It's their fault. Just like a king. If subjects are frustrated and they're full of anxiety, whose fault is it? King. If there's a chaos in a city, whose fault is it? Mayor and whoever is handling. So if people are finding Krishna consciousness interesting, it's fault of a leader. And he has to share the sins. It is said in scriptures, leader shares 1/8 sin of people whom you are leading. You get the sins. It's very risky to lead people. But nevertheless, it's rewarding also. That's the idea, no? More the risk, the more the reward. So you might say, it's very risky to lead people, let's not lead. But then you don't advance also. You don't advance either. So Prabhupada says, when you lead people, you have to be careful and make it interesting for them. But you cannot make Krishna consciousness interesting for anybody if you don't know how to make it interesting for yourself. You can't do that. It's impossible. So that's what Krishna says. You have to figure out ways to make Krishna consciousness interesting for yourself first. And that, if you don't know Krishna, if you're sincere, Krishna will give you some ideas. He will inspire you. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. No? That verse. And then you will figure out, yes, fine, we can do this. Okay, so just like, for example, prasad makes Krishna consciousness interesting, no? One example. And that's why Prabhupada had prasad in ISKCON. And many devotees, many people became devotees due to prasad. Even then and even now. And even in future. So prasad makes things interesting. So we have nice, opulent prasad in Krishna consciousness. By the same time, austerities also make Krishna consciousness interesting. For new people, so it depends on your advancement what makes things interesting. For new devotees, okay, prasad will make it interesting. For advanced devotees, maybe austerities will make it interesting. Yes, people who are there in movement for 15, 20 years, when they see other devotees austere, they feel enthusiasm. Yes, this is good, we should follow them. No. So the idea is same, what do we say? Same solution will not apply to everyone. In English there is a phrase for this. Same, this is missing from my mind.
Different strokes for different folks.
Okay, you can say like that. This is in America. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. Yeah, this is typical Western phrase. Okay, but that serves the purpose. So that's what we have to keep in mind. You can't say, I made it interesting, but these people are foolish, you know. They don't find it interesting. But I made it interesting. But then you got it wrong, because you made it interesting from your perspective. But from their perspective, it's not interesting. So we have to remember our perspective and others' perspective, and then do things. So this is external cultivation of devotional service. 3 hints. Now along with that, we have to cultivate devotional service internally, in your heart. And that's more important. Let's say not more important, but equally important. So how do you do that? Krishna offers some hints. Text 12, Krishna says, with a pure heart one should see me, the Supreme Soul within all beings, and also within oneself. To be both unblemished by anything material and also present everywhere, both externally, internally, just like omnipresent sky. So first hint Krishna gives, if you want to internally cultivate your emotions for Krishna, what you should do, with a pure heart, you should see Krishna within all beings and also within oneself. Now what do you mean by this? What do you mean? Seeing Krishna in everyone and within oneself. What does it mean? What do you know? What's a practical angle of this? Krishna is offering a hint, but what's the meaning of this?
Give all the respect to others, I would say.
Yeah, respect. That point will come the next. But this is not the point here. This is not exactly the point. The idea is, Krishna is saying, always remember, if you want to cultivate your emotions for Krishna, always remember He is in control. That's the idea here. Bahir antar apavritam. Krishna is outside, Krishna is inside. Bahir Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, Yato Yato. What's the idea? Idea is, He's everywhere. And because He's everywhere, He can watch me everywhere. And He can watch everything about me. Nothing misses His eyes. Because His eyes are very big, like Jagannath. He can see everything. So He's in control. That's what we have to remember. And that will help you to cultivate your emotions. Krishna is in control. Don't forget that. Because as soon as we forget that point, we'll fall into anxieties. Our mind will be full of fear and anxiety. He's in control, and He has a plan for every devotee. He has a plan. You might be able to figure it out, you might not be able to figure it out. Most likely we'll not be able to figure it out. Because if you can figure out what Krishna plans, if you can figure out what God plans, then He ceases to be God. Because Rupa Goswami says, Krishna's one of the quality of Krishna is he is grave. And grave means nobody can understand the plans of God. Humans you can understand their plans, but not God. Because his plans are inconceivable. Because he is inconceivable. So we have to understand Krishna has a plan for me. Always remember that. And he is doing the best for me. Even though it might appear things are happening reverse in my life. But don't worry, he is controlling. When he is controlling, then you don't have to worry. When Krishna is driving your car, you don't have to worry. No? Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. He is a driver. So that's the idea. He is in charge of my life. This is the most important point if we want to cultivate emotions for Krishna. Otherwise, Prabhupada says, your mind will fall into anxiety, and the mind which is in anxiety, Prabhupada says, there is no question of spiritual life. There is no question. An anxious mind cannot serve Krishna. It's impossible. So that's the first hint. Next hint is, Krishna says, 13th and 14th, Krishna says, O brilliant Uddhav, one who thus views all living entities with the idea I am present within each of them, who by taking shelter of this divine knowledge offers due respect to everyone, is considered actually wise. Such a man sees equally the Brahmans and the outcast, the thief and the charitable. You see the examples? Brahman and outcast, they are opposite, contrary examples. Thief and charitable, sun and tiny sparks, gentle and cruel. So Krishna gives the next hint, see everybody equal. Now, what do you mean by seeing everybody equal? What do you mean by that? Are we communist? But even communists do not see everybody equal. You know that? It is said about communism. It is said actually, one of the big communists, he wrote a novel. You know. He wrote a novel on communism, and he ended the novel. What is communism? He said in one line: some people are more equal than others. He said that, and that's what communism goes into. So equality is not communism. You put everybody at same strata. Everybody is equal. No. In fact, that is demoniac. Madhvacharya says, to see everybody equal, to put everybody at equal level, that's a demoniac tendency. That's wrong. Because then you are likely to frustrate majority of population, you know. Everybody is equal, everybody has same qualities and same things, so do this because everybody is equal. No, you can't do. Everybody has different tendencies, you know, Krishna says, different capacities, and they should be engaged like that. That's the idea. So then what do you mean Krishna says, see everybody equal?
See as a soul, not the outcome.
Okay. See everybody as soul. Okay, that's the meaning of equal. So the idea is, seeing everybody equal doesn't mean treat everybody equal. That's not the idea. Don't mix that. So generally, if we do that, then we'll fall into illusion. You see everybody equal, but treat everybody differently. Just like devotees, we see everybody equal, we see everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. But how do you treat? Bhagavatam Swami says, new devotees, you give respect in mind. You know, Madhyamadikari, you make friendship. And Uttamadikari, you serve. You see the differences? So treatment should be different. But vision should be equal. Okay, a lion, you know, comes, okay. This is a part and parcel of Krishna, but you don't treat him as you treat any other. You have to remain away from a lion, otherwise he'll kill you. So Krishna says, a gentle and a cruel, see them equal. Now, of course, you treat them differently because gentle, you associate with gentle people, you don't associate with cruel people, otherwise you become cruel, no? You have a difference there. But what do you mean by seeing equal? What do you mean, how do you see a gentle person and a cruel person equal? Okay, you see they both are part and parcel of Krishna. A devotee has the ability to see this person is gentle Why? Because his gentleness is a gift of Krishna. Because he is connected to Krishna, he is gentle. And cruel person is cruel because he is disconnected to Krishna. In all situations you are seeing Krishna. That is called as equal vision. You have the ability and the art to see Krishna in all situations. That's the equal vision. For that you need training. For that we need training. When we are happy, we have to see there's Krishna's hand behind. When we are suffering, we have to remember there's Krishna's plan behind. He is there. That's equal. A devotee sees mercy of Lord in all situations, and that is why his vision is equal. In spite of different kind of situations, he is seeing behind those situations just one thing, mercy of Krishna. So his vision is equal. That's what we call as equal vision. But for that you need training. You have to figure out how Krishna is merciful. You have to figure that out. Because sometimes it's confusing, no? Sometimes a person might come and abuse you. A devotee might abuse you, left and right. And then you might forget, But the person with equal vision, he'll remember, this is mercy of God, that this devotee is abusing me. But then how? That's the question. One of the devotee, she was in Orlando, quite senior devotee, and her son died of cancer. Young son, 30 years old. He just got married and he died. So I was doing a program and she came to me, she was weeping, of course, like young son, the only son, his marriage, so she was very sad and weeping. So she asked me, Prabhu, can you help me? I'm so depressed and I can't figure out how this is mercy of Krishna. You see the point? So I'm always thinking this is my bad karmas, or my sinful reactions, that my son is dead, and but maybe Krishna has rejected me. He's unmerciful on me. But you see the point? She can't figure out that in this incident also Krishna is merciful. So can you suggest, I told her something, can you think of how Krishna is merciful when a son died? 30-year-old, the only son. And she was really sorrowful, she was miserable, of course. The first point is, the first thing is, it's also difficult to remember that this is Krishna's mercy. That's one thing. How this is mercy, that's the next step. Because it's bewildering. But okay, fine, how he is merciful?
The son could remember Krishna while he was dying, thanks to his mom.
Well, then, but then he could have died after 30 years, At 60 years he can remember Krishna and die. Why now, 30 is nothing.
And with cancer you get time to cultivate consciousness. Because your death is coming, you can plan for it.
Well, he didn't have time, he just got cancer and suddenly. He didn't have time even to prepare. He was not prepared. He was not.
She's blaming Krishna, but then makes her to think about Krishna so much. Like every day, Krishna, why did you do that to me?
And that's okay, but then, anyway, that's fine. But then, how do you explain her that this is mercy of Lord? Because we have to train our mind to see mercy of Krishna in all situations. That is Krishna consciousness. And illusion is, you forget that this is mercy of Krishna. You are in illusion. Finish.
He's taking away her attachments.
Huh?
Taking away her attachments.
Yeah, that you can say. Like in Devarshi Narad.
And Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna took his mother.
Someone, he takes away their stuff.
That you can say. Taking away her attachments, yeah. So Krishna is merciful. She can think like that. Krishna took my only attachment. And now I'm free. She's free. No attachments. She can serve Krishna. That's a good solution. I told her this. But I also told her that you see, you're so fortunate. You know why? Because our entire process is feeling separation from Krishna, isn't it? That's a process. That's our process. And Krishna has given you first-hand experience. What do you mean by separation? You don't have that experience. You know what is a misery of separation, because you lost your only son. And now you think, if you are feeling so miserable without your son, how much Krishna is feeling miserable without you? And cultivate your emotions like that. We don't understand what's misery of separation now, because nothing happened in our life. Nothing drastic happened in our life. We don't really understand that. Like logically is different, experience is different. We don't have that experience, or you have. So now you can understand. If you multiply this misery millions of times, that's what Krishna is feeling for you. He's waiting for you. So go back to him. And she was really thankful for this answer, because now she could use her experience in service of God. You see, Krishna gave her, and Krishna doesn't give this experience. Krishna can give you understanding, but experience He will not give it to everybody. Those experiences, those are gifts in devotional life, and that helps us to advance. Not just logical understanding. No. Now you are understanding logically, but then something will happen in your life, and then you will understand, oh, what I heard 10 years back, this is the meaning of that. It'll happen, it clicks, and then we advance. That is why we are in material world. We are in material world to have experiences. Otherwise, Krishna would have said, sit in Golok and I'll give you classes, that's all. And I understood everything. Okay, fine, cram these verses and the philosophy. It doesn't work like that. You have to have realistic experiences to understand what you've read. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, just like in devotion, we mature, we advance. Like the first day we come in devotion and we read Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna says it's very difficult to control mind, and you can't figure out why it's difficult to control mind. Or maybe when I joined, Krishna says, preach about me to everyone, and we used to think we'll preach an entire word and this and that and that. But after many years of devotion, you find, preaching is very difficult. Yeah. Prabhupada said preaching is difficult, but you can't figure out when you're new. Why preaching is difficult? Oh, we'll change people, we'll convince them, we'll argue with them, this and that, but then you understand. No. So, material world gives you experiences. Material world is a laboratory. It's a lab. So you have a theory class and a lab. And why do you have a lab?
To get experience of the
what you have read, to get experience. Without lab, you don't understand anything.
practice.
You can have theory, but without lab, you get nothing. This is a big lab. This material world, we are here. And you will get experiences. If you have theory with you, you will learn in this lab. If you don't have a theoretical background, you can't understand what's happening, If you go to chemistry lab, this chemical, that chemical, everything is like blue, green, what's happening. You can't understand. But if you have knowledge, then you can become a chemist, good chemist. So that's the idea here. That's equal vision. And the last thing is, I'll finish here. And last hint Krishna gives for internal cultivation is text 15. For him who constantly meditates upon my presence within all persons, the bad tendencies of rivalry, envy, abusiveness, along with false ego are very quickly destroyed. Text 16. Disregarding the ridicule of one's companions, one should give up bodily conception and its accompanying embarrassment. One should offer obeisances to everyone. Krishna says, if you want to cultivate emotions for me, disregard the ridicule of your companions. So we are with so many devotees. Some devotee might say something. You might feel offensive. It might hurt you. Why did he say this? Krishna says, forget it. It's all bodily conception of life. Don't worry about that. Even in that condition, you should see my mercy. He is your guru. That he is helping you to make you remember that you're nonsense. By ridiculing you, no? Isn't it? We forget, no? We start thinking I'm a devotee. That's natural to us. I'm a devotee. But no, the day we think I'm a devotee, that day we fall down. Ami to Vaishnav ei buddhi hoile, amani namanat hove. We fall down. So these devotees mercifully, they help me remember I am a useless person. I am nonsense. We are in fact that. And we must be ridiculed at every moment. Okay, but this person is helping me. You see the point? So Krishna says, yeah, understand that. Understand, anybody who ridicules in this world is behind him, I am there. I am inspiring him to ridicule you. I am telling him, go to him, tell him you're a rascal. So when somebody ridicules you should see he is not doing that. Krishna is doing this to me. Krishna is saying me rascal, not him. And why Krishna is saying me rascal? There is some problem in me, isn't it? So you see the point. If you think like this, rather than finding faults in him, you will start finding faults in yourself. If you think Krishna is abusing me, if you think he is abusing me, then you will start finding faults in him. And if you think Krishna is doing this to me, then of course there is no fault in Krishna, there has to be fault in me only. And then you start finding faults in yourself, and then you improve. So Krishna is giving us this hint. So then you improve, and that's internal cultivation of devotional life. And finally Krishna says, indeed I consider this process, text 19, using one's mind, words and bodily functions for realizing me within all living beings to be the best possible method of spiritual enlightenment. This is Bhakti Yoga. External cultivation, internal cultivation. Now you go and read this section, meditate on this, and this is what is devotional service. Nothing more, nothing less. And now you have to practice. That's all. Now everything is practice. Theory is over. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Any questions, any suggestions? I'm done.
I like the point you're making about the material world being a lab.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking was like, so we have theoretical understanding that we're not the body.
Yeah.
But this world is kind of like designed around bewildering us into believing
that we are this body. Yeah.
Yes. So how can we have experience?
No, that's what.
Not the body.
If you are in the lab with knowledge, you get experience. If you are in the lab without knowledge, it's chaos. So, but if you are in the lab with half knowledge, and sometimes you learn, sometimes you make a mess, no? So we are like half-baked people, no? Half knowledge. Sometimes we learn, sometimes we get bewildered. You see the point? But as your knowledge grows, that's why Prabhupada says, read my book. As you read books, as your knowledge grows, your experience grows. That's the importance of knowledge. Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, knowledge is power. He always used to say, the wealth of Brahmanas is knowledge. And Prabhupada says, this movement is making Brahmanas, no? Brahmanas in a general sense. So that's why we get bewildered, because of lack of knowledge. So this means we have to read books and get convinced and get this knowledge. There are so many fine, subtle doubts. You have to get rid of that. And then there is a factor of time also. Isn't it? It takes time also to get an experience. For the experience to become mature and solid, it takes time. So both things, knowledge and time. That we have to invest. As much as time, as much as knowledge. And then we start learning everywhere. This material world will teach you. This will teach you. You get knowledge from everywhere. Just like Prabhupada, you know this example, no? Prabhupada was walking in New York, and one disciple was walking his servant, and that female was standing around, the other end of the road. It was snowing and she was wearing a skirt, mini skirt. And so Prabhupada said to his servant, "Do you see that girl?" He said, "Well, I've been already seeing her, So Prabhupada said, "You see her determination. Her determination to expose her body. Even in snow, she is wearing skirt. And this is how we should be determined for Krishna. We learn from her what is determination." You see the point? And so he starts learning. This material world will start helping you rather than obstructing you when you have knowledge. And that's technically called as Prem Vechitya. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita. It will start serving you. Material world, everything serves a pure devotee, Sun, moon, winds, they start serving you the more pure you are. So the more knowledge, the more convinced we are in philosophy, the less doubts we have, whole material will start serving you. They'll start teaching you. You'll start learning. See the point? So that's the point there. Yeah, Mother.
When you have a top experience for those who have caught consciousness, at least they can accept that experience is called mercy, but those who don't believe in God, it is very difficult to accept that concept. So if we explain it, law of karma, at least that's a little bit logical.
You're right.
It works, but
to non-devotees, you don't explain this, that it's mercy of God. They can't understand. They can't understand. For them, laws of karma. You're right. For non-devotees, we should go to this angle, laws of karma. Because first of all, he has to be convinced there is a God, And then mercy of God will come. So if you go to non-devotee and somebody, his dear friend dies, and you say it's mercy of God, he will just say, "Get out, you're crazy." So you're right. For them, we have to explain laws of karma. For devotees, laws of karma. It's God.
For devotees, it's difficult. For me, it's so difficult.
Prabhupada says it's difficult, but it's not impossible. He said. And slowly when we practice, it'll come. You will understand. So you know this Jayadev Goswami? Jayadev Goswami, he was a big devotee, and he was walking, and some dacoits came. They just captured him. They cut his hands and legs and threw him in a well. Dark well. No hands, legs. And he was chanting the glories of Lord. And he was saying, "Oh Govinda, you are so merciful. You took my hands, which were sinful. You took my legs, by which I committed so many sins. And you threw me in a dark well, so that I can't see this material world by my eyes." And he was chanting his glories, glories, glories. And that's a pure devotee. It's difficult to do, definitely. It's impossible. This thing is impossible. But nothing is impossible for Krishna. Krishna makes impossible possible. We have to have faith. Slowly we get that faith. If we allow that faith to enter us. And time will do that. It'll come. And if it was not possible, Krishna would not have said so. It is possible in this life. In this life you can become perfect. And you can become like Jayadev Goswami. Prabhupada says, you do as I am doing now. You can become like perfect man. It is possible. Otherwise, scriptures would not promise us, no? Otherwise, they're wrong, no? Mahaprabhu says you can get love of God. He's fool. That this is impossible. We can't, no. You can get... Somebody asked Prabhupada, it's so difficult to realize God. Prabhupada said, you can realize Krishna 50 times in this life. You can come face to face to him 50 times, provided you want that. So, let's pray. Let's serve him. Let's have intense desire to understand this. Now, Krishna will do that one day. But we should not be disheartened that it will not happen. It will happen in this life. Is it okay? That's fine. Okay, Jai. Yeah, they were listening, okay.
Going back to the beginning of your class, Prabhu, when you're talking about everyone needs desires and you should be writing down those certain
Yeah.
personal impetuses. So if you're working in a devotee community like we have here, and everybody's creating their different desires, and how do you harmonize and kind of reconcile how Bhaktivedanta Maharaj said, especially of Western devotees, if everybody just did what they wanted, then there would be unlimited Krishna conscious rock bands.
I understand. What you are saying. The idea is, you should have desires for Krishna, unlimited desires, and you should write down. And then, of course, there is a temple, and there is a direction of a temple, and there is a goal for the temple and a community to achieve. So you have your desires and you have community desires. There's so many things. So the art is to dovetail your desires with the devotees and the aim they are doing. That's the art. That's one thing. Another thing is, you can write your desires. We are individuals, no? We have also a desire. A devotee might have desire to write a book, isn't it? Okay, and there are so many services in temple, and this and that and that and that, and that's also required. So okay, you write those desires, but then that's long-term desire. Okay, and then you can discuss with seniors. I want to do this. These are my desires. How should I fulfill this? Take some guidance and go along. That's the best idea, so that we can cooperate. We can help devotees to achieve some goal. At the same time, whatever personally we want to do for Krishna, that also gets fulfilled. So it's cooperation and discussions. We have to discuss. Otherwise it becomes chaos. Like you want to do something, everybody is doing something. No, that's why Prabhupada says Ishta Goshti. You know Ishta Goshti, that 15 days Prabhupada said meet. Prabhupada said every week you should meet, by the way. Every week there should be Ishta Goshti ideally. So what do we do there? We do this thing. Devotee says, okay, fine, so I want to learn Mridanga. I have interest in that. And some devotee says, I want to write a book. That's my desire. Some devotee says, okay, I want to do meditation. That's my desire. And then the temple president says, well, we want to construct a barn there in the back. So what do? So well, if the leader, if the in charge, they say, okay, we want to do that, we have to cooperate with them, no? Because we are here, to cooperate. That's the most important agenda now, which will help all of us. So do that, but then at the same time, Ishta Goshti, we decide, okay, fine, so how should we do this? So that leader should give some insight how to fulfill the desires of our devotees. Leader should not stifle them. You don't understand stifling? You should not, okay, fine. We do this, and then after this is completed, okay, take out 1 hour, 2 hours daily, and okay, you write a book and you do Mridanga. So some kind of plan should be there to help devotees to fulfill their desires, and the plan to fulfill the desires of the community. And that's how it should go. And the leader should also explain why that particular job is more important than others, Okay, like you want to learn Mridanga, but then you have to construct a building. So why that is more important now than you're learning Mridanga? So devote time in that, because that will help other devotees, no? Isn't it? So it's not question of me. It's question of so many devotees. So that importance has to be explained, and then a plan has to be given and a way has to be given so that he can also fulfill his own desires and plans, and we should assist them. Otherwise, people lose individuality. It becomes Mayavad. So for that, discussions are required. Regular meetings. That's why Prabhupada says Ishta Goshti. Otherwise it becomes chaos. And everybody will have their desires, whether you say or not say. That will happen. That will happen. Either you write or don't write. And that's why people leave temples. Isn't it? People say, I can't do whatever I want to do here. I'm leaving. Okay, fine, You can't stop me. Goodbye. Yeah, you can't stop me. There's no payment, nothing. So that's a good leader, first class leader. He identifies his desires, he identifies the desires of the mission, what they are doing, and then set priorities and help him to fulfill his desires, give him a way, give him a time frame, later you can do. Like suppose in my temple there are few devotees who want to learn Sanskrit. But to learn Sanskrit yourself, that's very difficult. That's impossible. So they want to go and learn Sanskrit. But now we have a very important thing. We are buying a land to establish a Gurukul. I started a Gurukul in Himachal, and we are taking a land to establish a farm community, and we are finding lands day after day, this and that. And the devotee saying, Prabhu, I want to learn Sanskrit, I want time. So then I explained him, okay, let's for 6 months do this project. Find a land, settle everything, and then after that you take a break for 2 months, 3 months. 4 months you take a break, go to Vrindavan, take a teacher and learn Sanskrit. His mind is settled, no? Okay, 6 months this, I'll put full energy, then 4 months I'll go and do my thing. And then come back then again, sir. So he's happy, we are happy, things are done. But if I stop him, if I tell him, you can't learn Sanskrit, forget it, there are so many things. He will neither be able to do what I am saying. Day after day he'll get frustrated. This will not happen. And he'll not even be able to learn Sanskrit. Finally he'll leave this place, he'll leave me, and he will go get lost, I'm going to learn Sanskrit. That's going to happen. And Prabhupada was perfect in that. He knew how to engage people and also how to allow them to fulfill their desires. You see, we have to help each other in that way. Okay? That's fine. Yeah, Devmata Prabhu, that's fine or not? he's there. He's inside. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just cooking.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just asking you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.